Hey dudes, Scotty Real here with my buddy Cortez.
I am Cortez the Konqueror at your service.
Check out these grow dots and recharge for epic plant growth. Whoa, the bamboo's growing too fast.
We must escape this green labyrinth.
Lesson learned. Always follow the recommended dosage, folks. Visit www.realgrowers.com/Cortez and use coupon code Cortez
for a conquest of epic plant proportions.
Go to the link in the description to save big and score free shipping on all Real Growers products, or use coupon code Cortez at checkout. Every time you save, you're also helping the channel bring you content like this.
What's going on, guys? It's Cortez the Conqueror and Canna Alicia. How you doing today, Alicia?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I don't know. I had to work some overtime yesterday, and then me and the wife went on a big Sam's Club run. So I'm a little worn out today.
Yeah, I bet. That place is huge.
Oh, I know. And it's like so many people.
No,
I don't know. My anxiety started getting the better of me, but I'm like old, so I don't leave the house anymore. So it's like people. But we got a really great guest for today. Somebody that I actually got put onto from Grambo. Grambo was already in the live chat here showing some love for the guest today. PJ Johnson, pretty big guy in like kind of the Denver comedy scene. Well, not just Denver, you know,
yeah,
I don't want to shortchange him. You know, he's doing shows all around the country. I actually seen in some of his promo that I guess he comes to Chicago sometimes. So I'm gonna definitely have to check him out.
Yeah.
When he comes back around this way, or I'm actually going to be in Denver for 2 days before Fort Collins. So definitely something out. But
Yeah.
before we get too far into today's show, we got to give the channel sponsors big shout out. Alicia, what do you got going on over there?
I have the can. They're still out of stock, but they're coming back real soon. And
Coming back with a vengeance.
oh yeah, and new products and a new website. So there's a lot going on, and it's going to be exciting. So if you go, you can still buy things from there. He just doesn't have the bundles right now, but he will very shortly. But if you go and you need, like I bought last week, I bought extra filter papers, anything, put in code CANA at checkout, and you end up getting 10% off of your order.
Damn. Yeah, because that works for the whole site, not just the can system. So all the little odds and ends.
Yep.
And
you want more bud huggers or yeah.
It's in case you break them or something. You need to swap out the filters. And as always, if you guys want to save big on all Real Growers products, whether it be Grow Dots, Recharge, if you guys are looking to get into the Real Bucket system, you can actually check out my website, www.realgrowers.com/Cortez. And just to make it even easier for you guys, if you want to check out what I got going on, you can go down to the description and there's a clickable link.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. I've ran my mouth for long enough. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on our guest. How you doing today, man?
I'm groovy like a drive-in movie. How y'all, man?
Pretty
Doing
good,
well.
pretty good. I can't complain. Who would listen?
Real shit.
We're kind of stuck.
So this is definitely an interview I've been excited for. I've actually kind of held off on like my consumption today to kind of be like a little bit more crispy for the interview. But at the same time, when I do this, sometimes it works to my disadvantage because it's kind of like I don't really have the tolerance there. And then I still end up getting like too high anyway. But you know, sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah, I had to make sure I was properly medicated. That didn't matter to me. I'm like, that's exactly how I get my stuff done. So yeah, whenever, go ahead, lay it on me, baby.
Well, you know, it's not as bad with flour, but if I get like too far into my bag with like edibles or like some type of concentrate, sometimes I got like foam coming out of my mouth by the end of the show. I'm just kind of like,
Sound like me on Christmas Eve. No more 100 milligram edibles for me.
still like fucking Mork from Ork. I'm over here like, no.
It's very rare that weed gets me to where I'm kneeling to the porcelain god. But that Christmas Eve, yeah, it would be treated like it was a company party and, you know, a company party at a bar. That's all getting.
You know, it's usually a good time as long as you don't say for like the party, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but most
like
times
the first run of the show is pretty cool, but you know, after about like midnight, 2 a.m, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna start heading home now.
See, that's the problem. I'm kind of like the night owl, so if most times like I'm racing the sun to get home and everything. So yeah. That's usually me. I was surprised I was even up for this and stuff. I was just like, oh, all right, cool. I didn't see my alarm and everything. I'm like groovy. So yeah.
Hell yeah. But most of the people in here probably know who you are, but for the people that don't, do you want to give yourself a proper introduction, proper shout out?
Yeah. My name is PJ Johnson. My full name, not my stage name, is Papa Jr. Joseph Papa Johnson. Born and raised in Detroit. Started comedy out here in Denver. Like it'll be 7 years in May and stuff.
Oh wow!
I've traveled all around the country. I've headlined like 37 different states. Lots of like small towns and everything else and shit. And now like I'm back in Denver and. You know, I'm a bartender at the Lion's Lair on East Colfax, and you know, I help with bartending. I help with comedy at the Lion's Lair. I just got together a new show at an art gallery out here in Denver. It's gonna be kicking off in February, and
Yeah.
now I'm just
That's
kind of
cool.
Then
now
we seen you posting that stuff. You just did like a wrestling event.
yeah, that was
That was cool.
That was wild.
It was definitely a cool concept.
that's Nick Gossard and shout out Nick Gossard and Nathan Lunn and the big homie Mitch Jones. They do that they do it like once every few months and stuff, but it's like a sold out show like every single time they do it. And I even had to like I did my thing, had a whole standing ovation, and I'm just like standing there just kind of like just taking it in and being like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm actually pretty fucking good at this shit.
Yeah.
And then I had to go and commentate the match right after, and I feel like I had more fun commentating the match than I did doing my set. But
that's gonna be hilarious. Did they have any of those midgets wrestling?
Nah. It was it was an actual it's an actual league essentially.
Like a division or federation.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Okay.
I don't think Cortez was in. We have a friend that
we have
a friend that was a wrestler like that, like in the. I don't remember what his name was now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember he said he wrestled from like 2015 to like 2021. I could be off on those.
Yeah.
That's my recollection, so we'll go with that for now.
It's funny.
Pick yourself, easy.
It's funny too with like the wrestling because I've always been like a fan of wrestling and stuff. So like when I'm backstage, when I've been there like backstage, I was always like with the wrestlers, I was kind of like a little starstruck, even though they're not like huge, like well-known wrestlers or anything like that, but just like, being around them and just like talking to them like outside of, when they like put the mask off, and then like it's weird, like it's like if you saw like Rey Mysterio, like a masked wrestler, you saw him, and then you just saw him come backstage and just take his mask off, being like, I need a drink, and you're just like it just as a fan, it's a mind fuck for me, but
that's like the first time that I seen Kane without the mask on.
Yeah, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what they say though, never meet your heroes, right?
Yeah, well, some of them, I've met some of them. Like I met John Cena when I was younger, and he was cool as fuck. Like he was legit. Like you could tell that
he was genuine.
Yeah, he was the coolest. He was the coolest dude. But then I remember I met Triple H. And he wasn't in a great of a mood or anything and stuff. He just felt like another day of kids type shit. So I go back to wrestling. But yeah, that show was amazing. It's just a blur now, because it's just you have that.
That's how you know it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I feel like comedy sometimes feels like ketamine, where it's just like 15 minutes of just like, oh my god, and then you're just like, fuck, I gotta come down from this shit.
6 minutes, Slim Shady, you're on.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a whole thing. And also, hey to everybody in the chat, thank y'all for being here. Let me personally say that. Like, y'all could be doing anything. Y'all could be smoking, watching football, playing video games, masturbating, but y'all chose to here. So I appreciate everybody in the chat for real.
They might still be doing that, even though they're in the live chat.
I'm like, I got the face for masturbation, I guess. But I mean, all right, whatever. Do y'all?
It's like a Zoom call. You don't know what's going on below the desk.
Nope. I got a banana hammock on right now.
Painting the picture.
Mm-hmm. This is a Denver winter fashion for me.
Yeah. But let's take it back to where it all started. You said you're from Midwest originally, Detroit. Like, what is there any type of like influences from like childhood or anything like that kind of shaped your path to comedy, or can we kind of go back to like the early years of PJ Johnson?
Yeah. It's funny. Most people don't really ask me a lot about like like what Detroit was like. They just kind of, it's almost like they talked
Well,
to me.
I'm in Chicago, so I always look
Yeah.
out for the Midwest first. I'm a little prejudiced.
Yeah, hey, it's cool. We you know it's kinfolk around here. Detroit growing up, like I grew up on the West Side, and you know, as far as like comedy goes, you know, like I have my early memories of, you know, like all the adults being in the living room watching Chappelle's show, and me and my siblings like sneaking our head around the corner to watch what they all, because they loud as fuck and they want us to go to bed, but it's just like how we supposed to go to bed? Y'all having such a good ass time, and then we poke our head out and now we see
Feel like you're missing out on something.
Yeah. And so like Detroit doesn't, I don't know, like the biggest thing that Detroit really influenced as far as like my comedy goes is like my rawness, I would say. Like like once I get on stage, it's just like I care about what I'm saying, but like I don't really give a fuck about how you feel about it. Like I'm not
right. It's in the delivery, but that's kind of what makes you a little bit more genuine at the same time. Like when you got a little bit of grit, a little bit of edge, you're not like everybody else out there. You're doing your own thing.
Yeah, that's really it for me, because I don't know. I feel like if I was like raised in like in a different place and stuff, like it would be so much harder to like have that energy, or at least be able to like channel it to where like it mainly comes out like on stage.
Right.
And then,
or
like,
even to have those experiences to kind of draw off of, to like build the jokes, to write the jokes, and you kind of got like more live life experience.
Yeah, my Detroit stuff is mainly like family and just like my personal upbringing versus like me talking like about Detroit itself. You know, it's just like,
Right.
I just kind of want people to like, if you see that in me, okay, dope. But like, just understand that like I don't, you know, like just because you see me here doesn't mean I came from like, or like just however you try to interpret me. Just like I still came from a place that was like rough around the edges and shit.
Yeah.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like I didn't like grow up wanting to be a comedian or anything like that. Like that shit got started because of like jury duty. So
Right, with the t-shirt.
Yeah. That's what started.
See, I did my research.
Yeah, that's crazy. You fucking pulled that out.
I just listened to it last night too. That's why tell everybody that if you don't mind. I thought it was funny.
I was living out in Boulder County out here in Colorado, and I got summoned for jury duty, and I didn't want to do it. And I'm like, all right, how am I gonna get out of this? So I had this shirt, and it had like Tupac and Biggie on it, and Tupac was like flipping off the camera, and it said below like "Trust no one." And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wear this. So I get to court, and we're all sitting in the gallery, and then one of the lawyers asked, you know, like your name and occupation. And I didn't have a job at the time, so they got to me, and they're just like, all right, like, what's your name? What do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm PJ Johnson, but I'm unemployed. But in my heart, I feel like I'm a comedian. And everyone laughed, and I'm just back like, okay. and then they asked, the same lawyer, he ended up asking us a second question. And I always felt like he asked his question just to get to me. Just to get to me. Because I've never expected this question to pop up in court. But he asked everyone in the gallery, like, what's your favorite article of clothing? And he gets to me and he goes, well, I'm going to assume that shirt you're wearing is your favorite article of clothing. And I was like, well, actually, it is. You know, I brought this to show my impartiality to the judicial system, you know, trust no one. And the judge just like, let the record state that I don't find that shirt approving for court. And I'm just like, you know, like I put on my face like, oh, but inside of me, yes. And they dismissed me for jury duty. And then when I left, I just kind of thought about it being like, man, I just made a courtroom people in a serious situation. Like this was a car accident and shit. Like most people was hurt. getting sued. People looking for damages, restitution, and shit.
And you provided comedic relief.
Like twice, like in one of the most serious fucking. I'm just sitting back being like, you know what? All right. And then next thing you know, like maybe like a few weeks later, I end up getting a job. And the guy that worked there, he ran an open mic next door and shit. And he invited me over, and I was like, all right, yeah, sure. And I went and did it, and I did like 15 minutes, like just first time ever. And I remember getting off the stage, and this comedian, I walk up to him. Well, he walks up to me, and he goes, "Hey man, don't give this up. You could be like the next Kevin Hart." And like the Detroit in me, half of me was just like, "Nigga, shut the fuck up! Like, get off my dick." Talking about like,
tell me what I'm gonna do.
first time there, talking about I could be Kevin Hart. Shut up. But then the other part of me was just like, but what if he's right?
Yeah.
And then that's just kind of what started my comedy journey.
Were you always like, were you funny growing up?
Oh, I was corny as fuck growing up. Oh, I was corny as shit. I tried to be fun. Like, I really wanted to be like that class clown trope from TV. I really wanted to be that because it was just like everybody likes them and shit. But
yeah.
Oh, I just tried so damn hard. I tried so damn hard and whatnot. Like, it was like when I was funny, like back then, it was like lightning in a bottle type shit. But as being like I would be the one that would like make an ass out of himself. But as far as like cracking jokes, that was like I couldn't do that. So I was more goofy than I was funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And corny. I ain't gonna lie. No, I was goofy and corny.
That's like growing up, like we definitely all used to like nobody really had like cable, nobody really had like money. So and back then, like if you played video games for too long, you were getting like the Sega Genesis like power cord snatched out of the wall and getting beat with it and getting told, "You're a kid, go outside."
Right.
So we'd end up somewhere and just all kind of like making fun of each other. And that was kind of the thing for like kind of the status of the neighborhood is like who could be like quick with it. So it was like your mama jokes, talk about each other's family, talk about, you know, whatever, like really just kind of disrespecting each other. But it was whoever had like the funniest delivery with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you could deliver it with confidence and like you felt that shit, then like sometimes even if it wasn't that cool, just in the moment, you just be like, damn.
It was the delivery.
Mm-hmm. Because motherfuckers won't actually process the words that they said. They'll just be like, but that nigga said it so tight though that you just
or
it funny.
If you say something and it takes people a second to get it, so you got like that 1 or 2 second delay with like the roaring laughter afterwards.
Yeah, that's honestly something you learn I end up learning in comedy as far as like having a delay and like allowing that to be built. Like I do a joke,
let it sink in a little bit.
Yeah, and just stand there and just be silent and just absorb it and stuff because some comedians are scared of that silence because they have it wrapped in their head being like, oh, I need to have my laughs per minute like to be this, and oh, if they're not laughing, that means that I'm not doing well and stuff. And it's just like, no, once you understand crowd control and stuff, and you can realize that you can take them on what journey that you want to, like it's not about like you're gonna get quality over quantity. And so like that's how I try to look at it, as being like, yeah, taking that.
It's not like trying to seek validation.
Mm-hmm. But we're comedians. That's all we were trying to do is just seek validation.
Do you do you ever get nervous or anything? For me personally, being in front of a crowd would make like a turtle or something. Like, how do you feel performing in like large groups?
I just get giddy. I just get excited because it's just like, oh, y'all don't know what the fuck is about to happen type shit. You know, like it's just like the pressure will just, I don't know, like I love it. I guess I have a weird ritual for like my body does this every time. It doesn't matter. Like I have to pee like 10 minutes before I go on. Like my body will not let me go on stage without pee. And I'm sitting back being like, why am I like this? I'm like, I'm excited. Like, but it's so like for me with big crowds and shit, like no, I eat off of that. Like it just forces me to like to bring my A game more and stuff. Like
Yeah.
and but like going on the road and doing like smaller towns and stuff, like I've done rooms of like 4 people, 6 people, 10 people, but also done rooms of like hundreds of people and stuff on the road. And so like for me, it's just all the different type of tests just during comedy. So like my thing is so easy to it's so easy to like actually have a conversation with people comedically when you're like have more of an intimate space and stuff, and like
right.
control your energy too. Because I used to be a live wire when I started. Like I come in hot, all energy, just try to like, and then I would like fizzle out a little bit and stuff because it was just like keeping up that peak so early on is just so hard to do. But then once you control your energy, then like you can handle any type of crowd, like as far as like size goes. But that's just my confidence.
Yeah.
So depending on like the crowd size, or maybe even depending on like, let's say the demographic, like if you're in Baltimore versus being in Colorado or, whatever it might be, do you kind of switch your show up a little bit to like kind of play to the audience?
Yeah. That's so necessary to do when it comes down to the road. That was something, funny enough, that's something that Grambo learned. Because he told the story. We were out for like we've worked together like multiple times, but then we had this month that we did like all like whole month, and he learned early on where it's just like, because like at first when we would go on the road before that month, we would do stuff that's like kind of around Colorado. So we did like Wyoming and like the Dakotas and stuff, like places where people will go to dinner, and so like some shit was, but then we get out to like Jacksonville or something, and those Denver references or just does not work and stuff, because like
you kind of got to like read the room.
Yeah, and like and just like not only just that, but like read yourself as well. Like understand, like don't have so much pride in a joke to where you like I have to say this everywhere and stuff. It's just like you have to. You do have to get accustomed to where you're at. Like, for example, there's jokes that are very PC that works well in Denver that's not going to work well in the middle of like Minnesota or Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Right.
So you do adjust to that, and then the demographics in the room matter so much. Like when I walk into I love getting to a show early as fuck because then I get to I just literally watch the room. I'm like, okay, this is like my race. This is like my gender. This is my couples. This is like my age groups and stuff. So it's just like
going over like the demographics.
Yeah, like it feels like I feel like a coach in a way where I'm just like reading the field and stuff, and I'm just like, all right, well, this is quarterback, I guess. Well, like I'm just reading the defense, being like, I'm just gonna like throw out whatever they're gonna give me, I'm just gonna throw out and stuff. So
gotta know when to call in the audible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's sometimes where there's sometimes you'll go into it being like, I'm gonna do my material, and then they just let's say they heckle so much and everything, like you just gotta just say, all right, then fuck it. This is what we're gonna do. Like, yeah, let's go fight. Let's fire the hell off. Like,
who did? I think it was Bill Burr went against like all of like Boston or where was it when they had like that big thing?
Yeah, that was the one where everyone was like,
he took on like the whole crowd.
Mm-hmm. And such a big audience.
Disrespecting their local sports teams and everything. Like
really?
he put belt to ass.
But that's the thing, like that shit worked. I mean, like I think that shit worked because of where he was at. Because I don't think that same shit flies if he's in Seattle or if he's in like LA trying to do that. Because they don't
not gonna get the same crowd response.
Yeah.
No, I mean, come on now. Fucking East Coast teams, Boston and Philly, and them fan bases are just
Alicia's in upstate New York. That's Alicia's crowd.
they rugged.
They're not fucking around.
Yeah, like talk shit to me because I'm gonna talk shit back to you. Like
you better be ready for what's coming at you.
Mm-hmm. So that's just a perfect example. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a perfect example of like not only just abandoning the script, but also just knowing where you're at, because that just, to me, I just could never see that working in the middle of, in like, you know, West Coast compared to being,
if you were like in like nowhere, Iowa.
right, like
Yeah, like
yeah, no, they might actually like beat your ass. Like
they might want to get up with you after the show.
yeah, and Grandma and I did a show in Des Moines, and oh my God, they were, woo! I was like, where are y'all from? Because y'all are so nice up front, and then y'all get real mean if you ain't doing your shit on stage. I was, woo, man.
All of a sudden, you heard the banjo start playing.
Hey,
like I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be.
I will say this: I have never I have never felt more grossed out buying weed in my life. I bought weed in a trailer park that was 2 doors down from a cop that lived there, and I'm like,
and everybody was walking around strung out on methamphetamine. Looked like the Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy, this is. Ooh, I was sitting in that trailer. I'm like, oh man, and he even gets hooked up. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is different, bro. Like, whatever. Anyway,
okay, that's what's going on over here.
No, I once had a time where I was at a show. I was doing a show in Frederick, Maryland. I was doing a show in Frederick, Maryland, and like I headlined it with the feature. He was someone hacked the speaker in the crowd and started playing music. Like,
somebody got in through the Bluetooth.
Right. And so like he's looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I ain't doing this shit. Why would I would never? And so like they were just trolling them, right? And so I'm sitting there being like, okay, how the hell do I deal with this? Like, because thankfully I get to watch and see, be like, all right, I can come up with a game plan right now. Be like, how do I audible? And the first thing I did when I got on stage, I was like, all right, look, if y'all gonna play music, that's cool, but it better be the Thong Song by Cisco. Like, and then I switched up like most of my set to where I made sure I just did a good amount of jokes that were all song based.
That's
and
fun.
Right.
That's
so
fun.
then whenever I did so I did one about what is it, In the Club, 50 Cent. I did a song about that, how it should be like the birthday, the national birthday song and stuff.
No, I know.
They played it. And then I did a joke about Tupac's Dear Mama, and then they played it. So like I literally had to manipulate the crowd.
That's
like
funny.
it was one of my favorite audibles I've ever pulled on stage, because I'm just like, and even the feature, like he's a local here in Denver. He told me, he's like, man, I don't know really too many comedians that would have been able to do that. Like, you pulled that out your ass, and I don't get it. I don't know either.
That's kind of funny you said 50 Cent in the club, because that's kind of like the thing that 50 Cent used to do with like the mixtapes. He would like steal everybody's beat that was like hot that summer and make like his own rap over it. And he dropped mixtapes that was like all the radio songs.
See, I mean, I didn't even get to listen to 50 back, like mixtape 50 or anything like that. I was radio 50. I was just like, 21 questions, nigga.
No, he was out for years before that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let me grab my drink real quick. I'm sorry.
So have you ever ran into any type of like trouble while you were out on the road? Like I heard one story about you got arrested while you were doing comedy.
My very first time going on the road for a gig. It was in Gillette, Wyoming, right? And I did these weed jokes and everything, and they didn't like it. Apparently, they didn't like it. Like, I like the show,
Prohibition land.
Like, to me, the show was good because like like 18, 20 people like came up to me and bought a T-shirt from me. Like I sold like a good amount of T-shirts. Very first, which turned out to be, you know, bail money. But
yeah, so broke even.
No, I was broke. No, even. I was out there.
Excuse me.
So we're leaving, and they've been drinking us under the table, all this other shit. We're leaving to get to the hotel, and the cops, someone that called the police on us from the show about weed, and they pulled us over at the hotel and shit. And I was already rolling up. And so I tried to throw it down on the dashboard on the ground and shit. And and yeah, they're just like, all right, where's the weed and stuff? I was like, you're gonna have to find it. Like, we're not about to tell you it's right here. Like, fuck that. So they pull us out and stuff, and you know, they good cop, bad cop in us. One is just like, oh, you guys are comedians. Like, nigga, y'all told us from the show. Like, it's July. Y'all knew what was going on in town. Like, don't play with it. Don't play with me. So,
they came out the car with them fucking state trooper sombreros on and shit.
Yeah, man, I was pissed. I was just like, bro, just don't patronize me. Like, I get whatever. And they go in the car. They find my bag. I got like 3/8 in there and stuff. They're like, whose bag is this? You know, excuse my French. I ain't no bitch. I wasn't just about to like let somebody take the blame for my shit. I mean, that's all I mean.
Right.
And so I go to jail, and so like they take me and another comic into jail. And the fucked up thing was the only reason why he went to jail because they searched his pockets, and the motherfucker had a quarter piece of a joint that we didn't finish after the show, and he put it. And I'm like, fucking one, we are here for one night. Two, I got like 3/8 on me. Why are you pocketing?
That's some greedy shit.
Bro, just we throw it away. And so we went to jail for like 60 hours and shit. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, I like saying 60 hours because it sounds harder than 2 days.
Yeah, well, it's more than 2 days.
So yeah, and then I remember the first night that I was there, I was trying to go to sleep, and I said to myself, I'm like, if you don't make no funny ass material out of this, you're a bad comedian. And I was like, and so I just started doing goofy shit while I was in jail, just for material.
Start doing some like live action role play. You know, I do that sometimes myself. I'll just kind of go into these like impromptu like stand-up comedy routines, but nobody knows that I'm doing a bit because I don't announce it. Like I'll fuck with my wife sometimes, especially like if I'm at a store and like somebody's like coming up and trying to talk to me, I'll just say like the most bizarre thing so they just like want to get like far away from me.
Smart.
Yeah.
Only thing, it's crazy.
When in doubt, play schizophrenic.
Well, they in the jail though, I just said stupid shit. Like I remember there was like across the cell there was like this blue hair like meth girl, right? And I started like trying to flirt with her from like across the way,
just for the sport of it,
bro. It was stupid. Like, and just what
were practicing.
Well, yeah, I was just like, well, come on, I gotta make friends. Like, what if I want to get a contract?
Let me try out some material real quick.
So, like, I remember I fogged up the glass.
If I got to stay in here for a little while, maybe she'll hit my books with a couple dollars.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe she's like trying to pinch my butt when we walk in court or some shit. You know, just some affection. But yeah, I fogged up the glass and I wrote a little heart, and I was like, PJ. And she fogged up the glass and wrote a heart, and she put METH, and I was just like, okay, this is all right.
Wow,
some shit. And I remember the judge was fucking with me when I went to go see him, because then he asked, I'm at the stand, and the judge is like, please state your name for the court, and I'm sitting like, well, my name is Papa Junior Joseph Papa Johnson. And he's like, why is Papa in your name twice? I'm like, because I'm twice the daddy. And he's just like, so you think you're a comedian? Like, I know I'm a comedian. Like, it's not Dave Chappelle. So
It's probably on the sheet right in front of him too.
it was just this, and he was so nice about it.
It's in the
He let me-
police report.
It's just like comedian, well behaved. Asked to be. I asked for them to try to. They would like, okay, when they take you to court, right? They like shackle you like all around the waistband and up front and shit. Like I really
Over the ankles too.
Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a weed charge, and I'm just sitting back. And like I'm
They
just
were
about to-
bringing you in like a convict, like you were like a hardened
yeah.
criminal. All they were really missing was like the little Hannibal Lecter thing, so you could be like wheeled in the court. But you were in the middle of Wyoming. They're like, we found a black man.
I'm so glad you mentioned Hannibal Lecter because they bring me out, they're fucking shackling me and whatnot. And I look over and I see the drunk tank, like the little drunk chair, the little restraint chair they put you in. And I look over here and I was just like, can y'all bring me into court in that? They're like, no, why would we do that? I'm like, I want to feel like Hannibal Lecter. I swear to God, I said that to the police. And
Wheel me in there like I'm royalty.
yeah, I'm like, I want to feel hard, you know? Like, what'd he do? 3/8. Like, and then also you mentioned the black people in Wyoming. I did see black people in Wyoming in jail.
Right.
It was my favorite.
It's kind of funny though, because like sometimes me and my wife will be out somewhere where there's like clearly not really any people of color, but we'll spot like one other person. Like you might even have a conversation with them. Like it's kind of that awkward conversation too, but it's like I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
Hey,
Right. You walk up to them, how you doing, brother? How your mama and them? Is it safe here? Like it's one of those conversations. But the only other black guy I saw, I was like, I'm waiting to get processed. And like where my cell was, it's like in front of the desk. And you have to go by my cell to get out to leave, right? And so this black guy with dreads, I'm laying there just, watching through the glass, just watching my little TV. And he's getting his stuff together, signing his paperwork and stuff. And he looks over. And this was like the hardest moment for me in jail. My favorite moment. He looks over at me as he's walking out. And he just looks and goes. And I just look up and I'm like, look at we making it. Like that was my favorite moment of jail.
You always got a friend if you go back.
No, well, actually, I have been back, but yeah, I sneak there now and stuff. But also,
I might send a letter, but I'm not going to visit.
Yeah, you pay me, I'll go damn near wherever and shit. Like I'll go perform wherever. So I've been back to Gillette and stuff. Almost went back to jail, but. Apparently, I could smooth the cops over leaving the bar that night. But
oh God, stick out like a sore thumb there, I guess.
All right.
I'm sorry, that was such a long-winded. I know y'all got more questions and stuff. My bad.
Well,
no, we're having a good time,
Has we ever? Because before we got on, you had mentioned that you'll consume a lot of your normal. Like, have you ever gotten a job from smoking weed or?
Oh yeah. I used to work in the industry out here in Denver when I first moved here, like about maybe like a year or so after moving here. I worked I worked at a couple dispensaries. Green Solution was my first one, and then I worked for this one called The Farm out in Boulder. And in hindsight, I should have known better because one, Boulder, and two, you the only nigga at the job and you working at a place called The Farm. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that was on me. But whatever, But I was like I got like real into it and stuff, so learning a lot about like, the cannabinoids and like terpenes and everything else and stuff, like phenotypes and genotypes. And I was just like, I got really immersed in it. And then, I ended up working for a couple more out in Lafayette, Colorado, and then after that, I got out of the industry and I started like security or something. But yeah, I was in the industry for at least like 3-4 years. At least 3-4 years. So,
that's cool. Are they easy to? And there's a lot of dispensaries. Like Colorado is like one of the first places that really. So
yeah, we have more dispensaries in Denver than we do Starbucks.
I believe that.
Yeah, like you can throw. Yeah, that's why it's so funny here with weed and stuff, because it's just like the first time I ever got bad weed in my life was here when I first moved here, and I ain't know shit about weed. Like I just smoked it, and I remember this one dude that I worked with. He was like, "Yo, I got like an ounce of swag for like $50." I was just like, all I heard was $50 ounce of weed. That's all I heard, and I'm like, all right, for sure. Man, I remember rolling it up in the swisher. I hit it once. I was like, what? And I hit it again. I was like, oh, hell no. I called him up. That's the only time in my life I've ever got a refund for weed. I was like, oh, this shit.
Yeah, it sounds like Jim.
I'm like, what the fuck is swag? I'm like, no, that was Reggie. So
that was my childhood there. It's the swag weed.
See, I started smoking weed until after high school. So I was like 17, like the first time I smoked weed and stuff. And I just remember like feeling it and being like, why do people drink? But now I'm grown and have realized trauma, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you can do
That's
both.
Why people drink.
Yes. Yes. I forgot. Yes, we can do both. So yeah, I don't know. Weed is it's daily for me and stuff, but at times I mean, you know, I will get. Now I'm getting older. I'm feeling like I can't even handle as much as I used to. Like, man, me going, you know, smoking like 3-4 backwoods with the homies and everything else and shit. I can do that. Now I'll just be like, I just need one for the morning and then one for the night, and I'm pretty fucking groovy, low key.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I definitely wanted to ask, I don't know. I know a couple years ago, maybe even a few now, there was like a documentary kind of thing they made about saying that like comedy was actually kind of one of like the last few spaces of like free speech to where like you could kind of joke around and everything. But then like even recently Zuckerberg kind of announced that he was changing around some of like the censorship and like the algorithm kind of things. That's something that hits like a lot of people like on Instagram. For like us in the cannabis community, we get like our stuff taken down all the time, sometimes like for no reason. All the hard work we put into like making Instagram pages, making reels, everything behind it. But I just kind of wanted to ask you from like I guess a comedian standpoint, like which direction do you kind of think that like the censorship thing is going?
I guess it's just what realm of comedy you're looking at, because if you're looking at like online comedy and stuff, like I mean, I could see it get like being a hindrance and stuff, because like even like for me, like I'm for the most part like a dirty comic, and just like having to like edit stuff out, like, or have to bleep myself just sounds
right.
It just don't sound like me. It's just like, no, you need to feel this. But I think that affects online comedy more than it does like the actual stand-up comedy. You know?
With you guys, like as comedians, is there ever like a time like you, or maybe you've heard about it, do you guys ever get like stuff taken down, like like remove posts and all that kind of stuff, if maybe you tell like a little too dirty of a joke?
That's happened before, especially. But I think the hardest thing was like TikTok. TikTok was like that was the hardest fucking one. Like Instagram is definitely more lenient and stuff, but as far as But yeah, with TikTok, they will be so quick just to like take something down, and I'm just like,
I've heard that.
Or just like not getting any traction after like one good video or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So I guess fortunately or unfortunately enough, I was in prison when TikTok came out, so I missed that whole wave. I don't even know how to use it. I missed out. It's okay though. I've never had Chinese spyware on my phone.
Well,
yeah, I just
Well,
sat
yeah,
back.
I do have CapCut.
Oh well, yeah. No way around it.
Yeah.
Damn it, they got me.
But I'm not worried about censorship as far as like, you know, I'm not worried about censorship as far as like the live performance of comedy. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
And honestly, that's like my favorite way to judge. Like, I don't watch comedy. Like, I don't watch it. I don't watch people's sets or nothing online. I don't watch specials or nothing and stuff. Like, I'm just not that type of comedian. And so, but my thing is also like I value the energy of being in the room for like a moment versus just seeing it. You know, it's the difference between like seeing a postcard of the Grand Canyon and standing at the edge of it. You know, like I remember I saw Dave Chappelle one time out here in Denver, and I remember the energy changed the moment he got on stage and he lit a cigarette. I'm like, you can't, like, watching him doing that was like watching Michael Jordan put on a pair of Jordans. Like,
right.
That's like some like, so I value live entertainment way more than I do online entertainment. So I personally am not worried about censorship as far as live comedy goes, but because also in a way it kind of comes with the game. Like every generation is in comedy. There's like news. Like, God, I'm saying like
if you go back to like the Sam Kinnisons, Richard Pryors, you know, I mean, there's always been like edgier people in comedy.
Yeah, and there's just shit that didn't fly, that would fly in the 70s, that wouldn't fly in the 80s, that would fly in the 80s, that wouldn't fly in the 90s. Everyone's like I mean, people were like Rodney Dangerfield, you know, like people wanted that type of like comedy and stuff where it was clean but it was witty and you could say it in front of your kids, or like hell, even Cosby, you know, regardless of whatever. But him as a comedian, like he was weird being someone that you can bring your kids in front of, and the parent, and y'all both could be laughing at the same time.
My parents would have Cosby records that they would listen to, and that's how when I was a kid, what we would listen to with them. And
but it's always been the evolution of like comedy in as far as like what can and can't be said in comedy, but that's just helps us evolve and become better comedians. Because
didn't they try to accuse Lenny Bruce of being like a communist and all that because he was kind of like a little too edgy on the comedy side?
I don't know Lenny Bruce. I know Bruce, but I don't know Lenny Bruce.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't know Lenny.
Yeah, I think he's a comic going back to like maybe 50s, 60s.
Oh God.
Oh, I've never looked into it. Yeah, I'm truly not like a student of the game. Like when it comes down to it, it's just like, yo, I do this now because like I'm good at it, and I'm kind of like sold my soul for it, low key. So I'm just like I'm bound to this shit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you said what?
And you enjoy it, it seems.
Yeah, I mean at times, but you know, I mean that's the reason why I did the whole I hate comedy thing and stuff, just to kind of like be a little more real about like just the idea that like, yo, I'm good at this shit, but trust me, this shit is like painful as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my whole thing with that.
Hell yeah.
When how often do you go on tour around? Do you do that like yearly or like?
Well, when I was touring, I was working with this guy who ran a bunch of rooms around the country, and So like he would send me out just to like do his shows and everything, and I pretty much lived on the road for like 2 years straight, like no place to live, no nothing, like with no car, like I had like nothing, and yeah, but now like I've lost that connection to the road and stuff. And after living on the road and having comedy be like your like live or die type, like it kind of like touring kind of took a lot out of me. So where like I just wanted to like I ended up back in Denver and I got over some of my I had to get over some stuff. And now I guess I'm just trying to work on making like I don't know, actually helping out the Denver comedy scene here, and not trying to feel like a free agent so much and just
right.
Regular life again while being a comedian. And it's golly, I don't know, it feels harder than just doing the road itself. So I wish I knew when my next road adventure is, but I'm just gonna be here chilling until then.
Nothing planned yet.
Don't you do stuff like a couple times a week locally though? Like if somebody was in the Denver area, like what's some of the shows they could check out with you?
Yeah, so every Monday night at Lion's Lair, I bartend and I also do a comedy set. So I'll do like 7 minutes and stuff. Normally after a couple of shots of tequila. I get up there and I'll just fuck around, like this isn't stuff where I'm just like, and then I'm just like, oh, this is my material. This is what I'm just fucking around. And then Tuesdays, I co-host a show called The Gong Show. And essentially my job, The Gong Show is simply this. Everyone gets 7 minutes, but after 2 minutes, anyone in the room can gong you off the stage. We give away prizes. We do games and stuff, but my job is I do the soundboard, so I play funny ass intro music and outro music, and then also my job is also to heckle. So like I heckle.
Kind of doing like meme type of stuff.
Yeah, I might throw some meme sounds in there, like a heckle or something, but essentially, because like the idea to me is like, all right, if you're not gonna entertain the crowd, I'm gonna do it for you at your expense. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of like. It's one of my favorite times because I just get to roast comedians and be like,
get to bully people a little bit.
Yeah, I get very like, we're gonna eventually start live streaming it and stuff because we've now grown it to where we have like a local, like we have a like every time
you can watch.
Fills out the room.
That's actually funny. I'm gonna be in Denver the first Monday and Tuesday of June. I'm gonna just be coming off of a 2-day drive. I already got my room booked. I'm gonna be at well, I probably shouldn't. I don't care. I'm gonna be at the Embassy Suites Denver. So how far is that from like the place?
Because they were downtown then, right?
Oh, I don't know Denver. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're downtown.
But I know because I'm actually doing an event the next day, Tuesday. Well, it's actually my wedding, but it's gonna be I'm doing a consumption event for my wedding. Okay. So I'm gonna be at the International Church of Cannabis. I think that's a 12 or 13-minute drive to the hotel, if that helps. But I really don't like. I've been to the Denver airport. I know where the Lucifer thing is. Outside of that, it's just kind of like a blur on the way to Fort Collins. That's pretty much like my little Colorado experience.
You'll be 10 minutes away. Like you're right up the block. You're downtown. So yeah, you're 10 minutes away from the lair.
I'm gonna have to tap in with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, come on through.
That'll actually be the day before I'm getting married. You'll have to show me a good time when I come out to your city.
No problem. Yeah, Colfax is my block. So yeah, you want entertainment, you want good food, you want to have a good time and all this other shit. Yeah, I'll show you around the way. And it's gonna be June and shit. So
yeah, it's gonna be nice by then.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's where you can always see me. Monday and Tuesdays for comedy is at the Lair, and then and I do like other random shows and stuff, just like just random shows around the area, but like nothing else, so nothing like a residency.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you guys out there in YouTube land did want to check out PJ a little bit more, I do have a clickable link for his Instagram in the description. I know you usually post your stuff on there, right? Like upcoming stuff and what to look out for.
Yeah, with Instagram, I've been mainly promoting just stuff that's been going on at the lair and stuff, and like I get like a random show, but yeah, it's mainly that's like my main source of like promotion. I gotta get better with YouTube. I promise. I'm so bad with that.
Oh yeah.
Definitely keep us updated in Instagram if you start doing the streaming of your what you guys are doing. So you might start streaming it, then
You gotta get Grambo to help you, man. You know he's like a genius. He's probably gonna hate that I volunteered him right now.
Yeah.
But you know that like a lot of this stuff that I can't even lie that kind of helped me to get this show to the point where it's at. Like Grambo was definitely a big help.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't. With Grambo and stuff, I see all the shit that he's doing and stuff. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is try to put anything else on your plate. Like, hey man, like you do your thing. Well, I got mine on. Like it's
right.
But
I'm just saying, Grambo is like a wealth of knowledge. He's not a bad person to kind of like pick his brain a little bit. Like Grambo definitely will give out some free game here or there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
There he is.
Oh look, we got Grambo. He's actually in the live chat while we're talking about him. He said, "I'll help you with YouTube, PJ."
Yes, that's what they're for.
Hell yeah!
Big shout out to Sicko Grows. Sicko, when I'm in town, you got to get me right before I go to see PJ over there do the comedy thing. Get a haircut from Sicko Grows real quick.
Yeah, I got to tap in with Sicko Grows too. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just another day at the office around here in Denver, man. Just trying to working with one. Oh, wait. Oh, you know Tony. The old man. Me and Tony, we're like we're like Sanford and Son and stuff. But he's he's White Fox. He can't be Red Fox, so he's White Fox. And instead of him saying Elizabeth, he gotta say something whiter. So he goes Virginia. Yeah, good people.
Oh, Virginia. Was there any shout outs you wanted to give?
No, I hate everybody. No,
fuck them.
I don't know. I don't know. Shout out, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All right, let me stop. Shout out my homie Tyree Dillard for letting me use his laptop in his crib to
thank
do
you.
the thing.
Thank you, Tyree. You made this all possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out him. I mean,
hi, Grambo.
I don't know. Shout out Grambo.
All the shout outs.
This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Grambo. Shout out me. I did a lot of work.
Yeah.
Shout out me. And I don't know. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat that's been kicking it with us and just hearing me ramble for like 45 minutes, man.
It's all right though. It's a party.
Yeah.
You know who else we got to give a big shout out to is Chonky Nugs. He was actually the one that put the show together and made it possible.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, Chonky.
Jockey.
I have been having a blast back here. This has been a fucking blast. I don't know if you can see me, Fat Man, chuckling, but I'm bouncing back here. I'm smoking. I'm coughing. It's great show, guys. And it was great meeting you, PJ, as well. But you do need to come to Vermont. We have as many black men in Vermont as Wyoming does.
Hell, hey, I've done 37 states. Vermont I have not done Vermont yet, so I would love to come to Vermont, especially if I can get down there in the fall, see them colors, that foliage. Yeah,
we have as small as we are. We have a comedy club that we could get you in. I could hook you up. I can get you the contact info if you want to come visit Vermont.
Absolutely.
I would definitely help you out coming here.
Yeah,
I actually have some connections too. You ever want to come out to Chicago? I know a couple promoters that do like these kind of like underground weed. I got some people that you could talk to, but sometimes it's kind of like exotic flea market / strip club / like comedy or kind of like rap comedy. I think it'd definitally be your vibe. I might be able to put you up with some people. Probably not too different from like Detroit. See some of these fat asses out here on the south side.
Hey man, I've been out to Chicago. I rode a bump for an old lady in a wheelchair at the Greyhound bus station and shit.
I bet she busted wide open for you.
No, not Edna. No, she was just trying to make her way to Milwaukee. She had her drink. She just said, "Young man, can you roll this one for me?" I'm like, "Of course, Grandma, I got you.
Thank you, baby."
She was like, "Where you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from Detroit." She was like, "Oh, hell no." I'm like, "Are you serious? We in Chicago." All right, you got it. For sure, dude. I got you, Grandma.
You right.
Got you, Grandma.
But I know some folks out there in Chicago, and then outside of Chicago too, like Carbondale. Randomly, I fuck with Carbondale, Illinois. But
college town.
I gotta. I don't. All I know is there's a lady that will let me stay at her place, and she got like 88 acres and a farm mansion and a big ass garage. So I'm like, I fuck with Illinois a little bit. Y'all weed prices be taxing though. I'm like, that should be disrespectful.
If you ever come by Chicago, I'm gonna be a little disappointed and you go to a dispensary.
Trust me, won't happen. Won't happen. Oh wait.
I was gonna say I don't have quite 88 acres, but I have 10, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Okay, hey, shit, that's still a lot, bro.
Yeah, but I still have my 54 plants, even on 10 acres. So, and please don't.
See, Chunky, I knew that Vermont was a province. When I confused it for being part of Canada, I wasn't wrong.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a Halloween episode, Alicia.
And we're basically South Quebec, so.
Yeah.
Oui.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to get my ass back out, man. Like, absolutely. Like, oh boy, I could use the nostalgia trip. Well, actually, Vermont would be new, so it wouldn't be a nostalgia trip. I'll just sit there being like, "Oh, the syrup is so much better." Please.
It's actually kind of funny. The promoter that I was just talking about, he actually just hit me up last night because he knows that I'm vending for the DGC Cup, and this Negro is trying to sell me a 10x10 pop-up tent for $250. But it's customized. Like, that's actually who I get like some of my Mylars and some of my other stuff through. Got some. He's got a hand in everything. I think he manages some like OnlyFans girls too. I won't tell too much of his business, but I won't say who it is neither, but he's an awfully resourceful guy. We'll put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We are where I'm at in Vermont. I'm like an hour and a half from Montreal, 3 hours from Boston, and 4 hours from New York. So you can hit a whole bunch of spots right in one little area.
Chuck is selling it.
That is the most beautiful thing about the Northeast. Like 4 hours here won't even get you out 4 hours here will get you to Wyoming and maybe Nebraska. And that's it. Like 4 hours in Northeast, you can hit like 10 different states. That shit's crazy.
It's like being in Europe.
Yeah, I'm heading down to see Peasy here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm only 4 hours away from Peasy.
That's no shit. All right, that's dope shit. But I say this though, if I come out there, you got to take me to wherever the best French toast is in Vermont. That's the requirement for me. Y'all syrup. I need to see what y'all French toast cracking with.
I'm literally, as this show is going, boiling down alcohol from RSO so I can make some infused maple syrup.
Making some chowder.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like this, that's tight.
And also in Vermont, we love to host. So you're gonna come in looking like you, and you're gonna leave looking like me. I mean, maybe not the skin color, but maybe the belly size.
What's happening? What do you mean? Well, my beard just gonna get thick as hell because I need
one of these. Look, if you have a beard like this, you're gonna blend right in.
Look, I used to have one, and then I gave it up for a dominatrix, but that's okay.
Come back.
Yeah, I do a lot of wild shit here in Denver.
I couldn't tell. I thought you lived a pretty nonchalant life.
When the sun is up, yeah. The sun is up. When the sun is down,
time to shine.
Yeah. I make a lot of silly mistakes and a lot of bad decisions and stuff. So
builds character.
I think that's my default.
I don't know. I just turned 30, and I'm just like, I still want to be in my 20s. I'm not giving it up. Like that's how I feel right now.
I'm about to turn 38 in June, so I'm knocking on like 40. But 30 is about when it kicks in.
Yeah.
Within a couple years, I don't know, when I was like 33, 34, I knew I was getting to like a certain age because I started buying like higher thread count bed sheets. I started buying like nice towels. So being like my grandparents, I have a whole set of china, like plates that nobody's allowed to eat off of, not even guests.
Wow.
I've officially got into the age to where I've like invested in shit around here, so I don't even have to leave the house. It costs money to go outside. It gets expensive, man. I'm tired.
The public is outside, so no.
I still live like a thug. I live in a basement on a pull-out couch with a hot water tank sitting in my bathroom and shit. Like I just be thugging it. That's it. I ain't figured out yet like how to grow up. Apparently, I'm just I don't know. I'm just a baby.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
Being an adult is way overrated.
Yeah,
it is.
We gotta pay bills and shit, and we gotta figure out how to eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I long vacations are no longer. That's fuck that kind of area. No, I want my summers off again.
I just try to use my pretty face to cohort people to give me meals. That's just how I get by with shit.
See, if I was in your position, I would be as skinny as you because I wouldn't have anybody to feed me off this pretty face. So,
I'm gonna go find a fat girl to feed me biscuits.
Oh man, that's me in North Carolina all over again. Yeah. That was
The ones with the wide shoulders always make the best biscuits though, because they didn't get that way by accident.
Hey, look here, all right. That's you got to be able to throw it. You got to be able to throw them down in the kitchen with the broad shoulders. Like you ever have a white woman in North Platte, Nebraska cook for you before? Jesus. I was like, oh, y'all know seasonings down here. What did you do to this corn?
How did you get this bacon this crisp?
Eating biscuits on cake. You know, what's hilarious is, so at my job, we do all different type of shows and shit. So we do like a burlesque show. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see like two girls sitting on the bar with their ass out and shit. They shout out them. That's Gemini and
because there is.
Yeah, so Cassie had a birthday burlesque show, and so at the end of it, she like laid out on the bar, and she had people like she had a bunch of little miniature cupcakes, and she had people like tip to be able to come up and eat a cupcake off her butt. And so I'm
doing something strange for a little piece of change.
Look, I'm professional as fuck. Like, I've worked burlesque shows before. I'm like, this is just another day at the office. I'm just chilling. So like one of the girls, the kitty, she's like, PJ, come get a cupcake. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. My innocent ass walk over there, grab the cupcake, and just eat it. I was like, strawberry. She was like, no, you whatever, PJ. I'm like, all right. And I go back behind the bar and I'm just working and stuff. And then Cassie just looks over and goes, PJ, get over here and eat a cupcake off my ass. And I was like,
yes, ma'am.
All right. Cool.
Did you have a little whipped cream on the side?
No, but I was very happy for was that because she was on the bar, like everyone was eating off of the cheek that was towards the bar. Right. I had a whole fresh cheek that hadn't been touched. Like that was like yes, I had fresh cheek. And so
it's cool. Just let me get some top.
So, the biscuits on cake thing just brought that up for me. I'm just like, yeah, that was like a top 10 moment of 2024 for me. Just hearing the woman go, get over here to eat a cupcake off my ass. Like, no one grows up ever thinking that someone would say that to them.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for this morning.
No, I was just here to serve some drinks and open up a couple PBRs. Like, okay. People are just like, man, you was like, your job is crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why this place works.
Sometimes I gotta go home and eat Haagen-Dazs in the bathtub afterward.
Yeah. No, I did not have no food in the bathtub. Only wine and backwoods.
There you go. Yeah, no, I always see your pictures on Instagram and I always comment, I'm moving vicariously through you. I want to this opposite someday.
Man, it's so I don't know. It's silly as fuck, you know. Because like it's not like I'm a person that even like posts like every day or some shit like that. But when I do post, I do want it to be meaningful and shit. To be like, all right, if you're gonna take some time to look at my page and shit, like it's gonna have something that's gonna be cool. Be like, this motherfucker's interesting. This motherfucker just got
a little bit of flavor on it.
Yeah, like 1 minute you'll see me doing comedy, 1 minute you'll see me bitching about comedy, 1 minute you'll see me with some with two chicks with hella ass and stuff. Like it's just 1 minute you'll see me and my stories are even wilder. Like most of my life is through my stories and shit. So you'll just see just the most random parts of me being like, what's wrong with this nigga? And it's just like everything. But you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, what gets my attention when there's half naked women on the bar. I'm like scroll. Oh, PJ at it again. Thank you.
Yep.
PJ made my day again.
Just blessing timelines and whatnot, you know. And we gonna do more photos. I've had people hit me up being like, I want to do a photo shoot with you and stuff. I'm like, oh, best $400 I've ever spent in my life. I was just like, oh wow, okay. Like it's fun to me. I'm just like, I talk about ass on stage, so why not fucking display it and like help a couple friends out with their shit? The fuck, like those are all homies of mine.
You gotta be multi-versatile.
Yeah, you gotta be able to politic. Like the other woman, her name's Gemini. She is like, go follow her. She's dope as fuck. But she, I met her at a strip club in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And she was the bartender. I was just like, how do you have more ass than everyone else in here? And she was a sweetheart. Like she told me a story about like her mom and her boyfriend like stealing her like Nintendo 64 so that way they could strip the copper wire out to sell for drugs. So I'm like, oh baby, you just wanted the game and man, you might be a nigga yourself, girl. Like no wonder you got all that ass. You got nigga trauma. That's built the glutes. Okay, you for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like,
horrible.
But that's my homie. That's my homie Jim. I fuck with her tough and everything. Shout out Jim.
I think I found her.
Yep.
Is this it here?
Yep. That's her. Go ahead, give her a
like to Gemini
and everything else and
give
stuff. She's cool and shit. Like she's been around. She's modeled like around the globe and shit like that. You know.
Yeah.
So that's Gemini with 2 eyes and 2 eyes. That love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
I see it.
very, 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 very cool people and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could say it's a party with me all the time, but you know, nigga be in his feelings and shit sometimes, so I'll be having to like, you know, like chill out a little bit. But for the most part, you see me in person, like it's all love and everything. Like I don't know. As long as everyone's having a good time, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Boy, I think we will start wrapping up here. I do really want to thank you for your time though, man. I feel like this was a dope interview. Once again, if anybody wants to follow PJ, I got a clickable link for his Instagram down in the description. And then if you have any other links like to your website or anything too, I can edit the description after we get off, and then people watching the replay can find like your YouTube and everything too. So
for sure. Hell yeah. I appreciate y'all for real. Like, this is a great way to spend a Sunday. I wasn't gonna be watching football, but watching the Lions lose. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Bears at all this year. I've heard they've been atrocious though.
Yep. But you know, y'all stay hopeful and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, this is dope. I had a lot of fun doing this and stuff. I feel like I just talked a lot, but it was, I don't know. It was just great.
No, it's all good, man.
You're supposed to.
But yeah, I'm gonna come check you out when I'm in Denver. First week of June, I'm gonna come see you.
Yeah, please do, man. You know, it's always fair at the Lions Lair. Come on through, you know, and I'll show y'all around. You know, I make sure you have a good time whenever you're in my city. No, I'm sorry,
yeah.
my borrowed city.
And likewise, if you ever make it out to Chicago.
Oh, absolutely. Trust and believe. Like I said, no more dispos for me. We chopping it. We smoking. I got you. Vermont, I'm on there too.
Well, yeah, man. Definitely got to get you back out for a part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that. Love to come back to the pod anytime, y'all.
Yeah,
Well,
I had a lot of fun. Thank you
man.
so much.
Yeah, thank y'all. Y'all be safe. Be blessed. Water.
So.
Take it easy, man. Oh, that was such a great guest. I'm so glad that we could make this interview happen today.
And no.
And I was right at the beginning of the show. I saved myself to not smoke that much during the day, but I am high as fuck right now, and I gotta pee. So we are gonna cut it short, but until next week, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Take it easy.
Let me talk to you. Let's go, Denver. How we doing tonight? Make some noise if you're happy and white. Now we got that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is PJ Johnson, but my full name is Papa Jr. Joseph Papa Johnson. Yes, I was given a name that forced me to do comedy, all right? PJ's a dumb name. I tried to cuss at my mom by my name. I'm like, Ma, why'd you give me such a dumbass name? She said, baby, if I would have had it my way, I would have named you TJ. Like, really, what was TJ gonna stand for? She said, Tina Jr. Joseph Papa Johnson. Shut the fuck up and be grateful. I love my mom. I think my mom was the best mom that anyone could ever have. She passed away from breast cancer a year ago and stuff, and it's really hard to like deal with stuff like that. But what helped me get to a new normal was think about all the things my mom had told me to be prepared for her passing, all right? Ever since I was knee-high to a duck, the most loving thing she used to say to me was, boy, what the fuck you gonna do when I'm gone? She was always there for me. She always gave me great advice and stuff. You know, I remember I was headed to my very first party, 16. I got on the phone, I'm like, Mom, I'm going to this party. Might be drugs, definitely going to be alcohol, and white people are throwing the party, okay? I'm nervous. She said, I'm thinking about having my first drink tonight. What do you think? She said, I think you lucky this belt can't reach through this phone and beat your ass. But since it can't be there to beat your ass, the least I can do is be here to teach your ass. So listen up. First things first, make sure you have a greasy meal before you go out drinking. You want something that's going to absorb the alcohol. Second, make sure you have a glass of water after every alcoholic drink you consume. What I'm trying to tell y'all is that my mom was training me on how to become an alcoholic comedian. Third, she said, baby, if you go to this party, you put a drink down, you walk away from it, do not pick it back up. Because white boys your age like to slip shit in people's drinks and then you wake up with a random vegetable in your ass. Only people that don't like that joke are fraternity brothers. They're like, nope, no, no, Kappa, hell no, no. Can't watch Veggie Tales no more, all right? Like, my mom and I had a great connection, okay? My mom was the very first person I called for congratulations 10 minutes after I lost my virginity, all right? I remember like it was yesterday. I was 17 years old. It was April Fool's Day. I put on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because, you know, in the movie, you got white kids chasing after chocolate. Real world, I got a white woman chasing after my chocolate, okay? We do our business, and she leaves, and I'm like, Mom, I just lost my virginity to a white woman. She said, baby, was it everything you ever dreamed of? I said, yeah. She said, did you use protection like I taught you? I said, yeah. She said, what kind of protection did you use? I said, a Trojan fire and ice condom. She said, I think you need to slow down with having sex. Why is that, Mom? Let me give you some advice about women. No self-respecting woman wants the feeling of icy hot in they pussy. You need to learn how to be an unselfish lover, Papa Jr. Like your father. And then I hung up. I'm like, no, this is not I don't want to hear your whole stories. You're supposed to hear mine, all right? I'm going to try to capture her beauty for y'all in just one sentence, okay? My mom had the fattest ass on the west side of Detroit. Let me paint the picture for you. My mama had an ass that was so fat. Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. See, because here's the thing. Usually it's like one old white guy that says it back, and to me he always sounds like Squidward. He just sounds like, how fat was it? And I'm like, I don't even want to do this joke no more. My mom, no, she had an ass that was so fat, her and I used to go to the park together. I used to have dads running up to me asking if I needed a new one, all right? You know what? I don't want you to feel left out, so we're going to get all of Comedy Works to say it at the same time, okay? My mama had an ass that was so fat that I completely understand why she had to be cremated. We didn't grow up with dispensary money and shit. She said, baby, I want to go in the urn. I don't want to go on the ground. I want to be cremated. I said, Ma, why is that? She said, you know how much it would cost this family to get a pear-shaped coffin? So we put her in the urn, and I'll tell you what, those are some fat ashes, all right? That's my time. I'm Papa Jr. Joseph Papa Johnson. Thank y'all so much, Comedy Work.
Let me this bitch retarded.